The story begins in a quiet, dimly lit bedroom where Eliza, 9 months pregnant, wakes up with stabbing pain shooting across her stomach. At first, she thinks it's just another contraction, but within minutes the pain grows unbearable and a cold sweat breaks across her forehead. Desperate and scared, she reaches for her phone and calls her husband, CEO Ryan Blake. He answers with irritation in his voice, lounging in a luxury penthouse beside his glamorous mistress. When Eliza tells him she's in severe pain and needs him, he dismisses her with a cold, emotionless, "You're exaggerating again," before hanging up. Her hands shake as she calls him again, twice, but both times he ignores the ringing phone, choosing instead to continue drinking expensive wine while his mistress whispers manipulative reassurances into his ear. At the same moment, Ryan's assistant receives an urgent call from the hospital warning that Eliza may be in danger. Instead of forwarding it, he deletes the message, terrified that exposure of the affair could ruin Ryan's image in his own position. Outside, thunder rumbles as Eliza forces herself out of bed, clutching her stomach, barely able to walk. She tries reaching her car but collapses on the porch, where neighbors rush to help and call an ambulance. As paramedics lift her onto the stretcher, her vision blurs, fear tightening her chest, not for herself, but for the tiny twins fighting for life inside her. Cassandra, Ryan's mistress, is a stunning model who knows exactly how to manipulate powerful men, and Ryan is no exception. For months she has been subtly pressuring him to divorce his wife before the twins arrive, reminding him that once the babies are born, public sympathy will shift toward Eliza and his image as a caring father would make it harder for him to leave. Cassandra wants everything, his wealth, his status, and his name attached to hers. That night, seeing Ryan distracted by Eliza's calls, she slides closer, placing a hand on his chest and softly claiming she might be pregnant too. The lie hits him hard, just as she intended. She leans in, whispering that Eliza always exaggerates her pain, that she fakes emergencies for attention, turning Ryan's already cold heart into ice. Feeling manipulated but unable to see the truth, Ryan deletes Eliza's final voice message without even listening to it. Cassandra watches him do it with a victorious smirk, believing she has finally eliminated her biggest obstacle. She imagines Eliza alone, crying, fragile, and unseen, exactly how she wants her. But Cassandra is unaware of a force working silently in the background, billionaire Adrien Knight, Ryan's biggest rival, who has long observed Ryan's cruelty and secretly cared for Eliza's well-being. Cassandra's manipulation doesn't just influence Ryan, it ignites a domino effect that will shatter his world permanently. At the hospital, the medical team wastes no time rushing Eliza into emergency care as alarms begin flashing across monitors. Her blood pressure is dangerously high, her breathing shallow, and both babies show signs of fetal distress. Doctors and nurses move around her in a blur, inserting 4 lines, giving oxygen, calling specialists, and preparing for the worst-case scenario. Through the chaos, Eliza keeps whispering Ryan's name, her voice trembling with hope that he will burst through the door any second. Nurses, seeing her fear, try to call him themselves, but every call goes unanswered. Ryan rejects them all, assuming they are Eliza trying to disturb his night again. With each passing minute, Eliza's condition worsens. Her vision becomes hazy, her fingers numb, and her heartbeat irregular. Slowly, painfully, the realization settles in her chest: he is not coming. Her husband, the man she trusted, has abandoned her in the moment she needed him the most. Fighting through weakness, she asks for her phone and records a final voice memo for her unborn twins. In a trembling whisper, she apologizes for not being strong enough, tells them she loves them infinitely, and pleads that they forgive their father someday, even if she cannot. Moments later, her body begins shutting down. She goes into seizures as multiple organs strain under the pressure. The doctors fight desperately, but her heart finally stops. They manage to revive her for a brief moment, just long enough to perform an emergency C-section to save the twins. As the first faint cry pierces the room, Eliza exhales her final breath. A single tear slips down her cheek, quiet and final. Meanwhile, Ryan, still wrapped in Cassandra's arms, remains completely unaware that his wife is dying, and that the consequences of his cruelty are about to destroy his entire world. Adrien Knight, Ryan's longtime rival in both business and reputation, is reviewing reports late at night when he receives an urgent alert from the private investigator he has kept on Ryan for years. Their companies have been at war for a long time, and Adrien monitors Ryan's movements closely, not out of malice alone, but because he has always known Ryan's personal life is messy and dangerous. The alert reads that Eliza, heavily pregnant, was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. Adrien freezes. Memories hit him like a punch. Years ago, before Ryan married her, Adrien had quietly loved Eliza from afar. He had stepped back only because she chose Ryan. That guilt now claws at his chest as he rushes to his car. When he arrives at the hospital, a doctor takes him aside and gently delivers the news: Eliza didn't make it. The heartbreak is instant and brutal. Adrien presses a hand to his face, trying to hold himself together as the doctor continues, explaining that the premature twins are alive but extremely fragile. Instead of collapsing, Adrien channels his grief into action. He immediately authorizes the highest-level NICU care, pays for specialists, arranges private nurses, and instructs hospital security not to allow Ryan access until legal matters are reviewed. His tone leaves no room for argument. The staff watches in quiet awe as Adrien speaks and behaves with the protective urgency of a devastated husband, not a rival billionaire. He asks to see the babies, standing beside their incubators with a trembling hand on the glass. Meanwhile, Ryan, blissfully ignorant, ignores every unknown number calling him, never realizing his enemy is stepping into the father role he threw away. Adrien looks at the twins and whispers a promise to Eliza, a promise she will never hear: he will protect her children as fiercely as if they were his own. The next morning, Ryan wakes up with a pounding headache in the mistress's penthouse, the taste of alcohol still thick on his tongue. Cassandra is already scrolling on her phone, pretending not to watch him, but her eyes flicker with unease. Ryan finally picks up his own phone and freezes when he sees 27 missed calls from the hospital, nurses, emergency numbers, and unfamiliar lines. His blood runs cold. He shoves Cassandra aside and rushes out without a word, his heart slamming in his chest as he speeds toward the hospital, repeating, "Please be okay, even though he knows deep down he may already be too late. When he arrives at the entrance, security blocks his path. Confused and panicking, he demands answers, only for Adrien to step out holding the twins' medical files with a look of restrained fury. In a calm, controlled voice that cuts like a blade, Adrien tells him the truth: Eliza died begging for Ryan, calling out for him again and again, while he ignored every call. Ryan's face drains of all color as the doctors confirm it: she suffered severe complications, her emotional distress worsening everything. Ryan rushes toward the NICU, but he's stopped once more. Adrien has already filed for temporary guardianship, citing Ryan's abandonment and negligence. The legal documents are airtight. Ryan collapses against the wall, shaking, realizing the magnitude of what he has done. Cassandra quietly disappears from the public eye, knowing this scandal will ruin her forever. Left alone in the sterile hallway, Ryan sinks to the floor, clutching his head as the weight of his choices crashes over him. He abandoned his wife in her final hours, and now he must face the irreversible consequences of that betrayal. Ryan immediately launches a legal battle to claim his twins, desperate to hold on to the only pieces of Eliza he has left. But the evidence against him is overwhelming. The hospital provides logs showing he rejected every call. Nurses testify that they attempted multiple times to reach him. CCTV footage proves he never came to the hospital until many hours after Eliza had died. Even Ryan's own assistant is forced to admit that he deleted an emergency message to protect his boss's affair. The court orders psychological evaluations, home inspections, and a full investigation into the circumstances surrounding Eliza's death. Every report paints a picture of neglect, selfishness, and emotional abandonment. Meanwhile, Adrien is at the NICU every single day. He stands by the incubators, whispering soft reassurances as the twins fight to grow stronger. He gives them names after discussing options with the medical team, gently holds them during skin-to-skin therapy, and comforts them when they cry. Nurses quietly agree that he behaves like a devoted father, far more than Ryan ever did. Ryan watches this, torn between jealousy and crushing guilt. He sees how naturally Adrien fits into the role he himself threw away. One evening, Adrien asks to speak with him privately. His expression is steady, not spiteful. "If you truly loved Eliza," he says quietly, "put the twins first. Let me raise them. They deserve stability, not scandal and chaos." Ryan's chest tightens. He wants his legacy to continue through his children, but he knows deep down that he failed Eliza in a way that can never be undone. Adrien promises to raise the twins with love, honor, and stories of the mother who sacrificed everything for them. As hearings continue, the court leans heavily in Adrien's favor, labeling Ryan's behavior as emotional abandonment that contributed to Eliza's fatal stress. For the first time in his life, Ryan realizes he may lose everything, not because of Adrien, but because of his own choices. 1 year later, Aiden and Aria have grown into bright, healthy children, their fragile beginnings now replaced with strength and resilience. Under Adrien's care, they thrive in every sense, physically, emotionally, and mentally. He has officially adopted them as his stepchildren, and the court acknowledges that Ryan's neglect directly contributed to the circumstances surrounding their mother's death. Adrien structures their days with warmth and care, creating routines that balance discipline with affection. Every morning begins with gentle wake-up calls, healthy breakfasts, and playtime that encourages creativity and confidence. Their medical needs, still delicate from their premature birth, are meticulously monitored with the best pediatricians and specialists available. Eliza's last voice memo is framed and placed beside their beds, a constant reminder of their mother's enduring love. Adrien often plays the recording for them, explaining the brave sacrifices she made and emphasizing that their lives were always treasured. Ryan is allowed occasional supervised visits, but each encounter is painfully awkward. The twins, sensing the deep emotional void, cry whenever he holds them. They instinctively gravitate toward Adrien, whose consistent love and attention have forged a bond that Ryan cannot break. Outside the home, Adrien's story spreads. News outlets and social media outlets highlight the billionaire who stepped in to care for his rival's children, portraying him as a hero who embodies compassion and integrity. People are amazed at the depth of his dedication. He spends every waking hour nurturing, protecting, and loving Aiden and Aria. He teaches them values, shares stories of Eliza, and ensures they never feel the pain of abandonment. Many comment that he loves them more fiercely than any biological father ever could, proving that true fatherhood is measured by love, not blood. Within the walls of their home, laughter, music, and gentle voices replace the silence and fear of the past. Adrien's devotion ensures the twins grow up safe, cherished, and deeply aware of the mother they lost, while never feeling the emptiness Ryan left behind. Years later, Adrien takes Aiden and Aria to visit Eliza's grave on their birthday, a ritual he began as soon as they were old enough to understand. The twins, now curious and aware of their mother's story, carefully place fresh flowers atop the polished stone and hold tightly to Adrien's hands. They call him Dad in unison, their voices innocent but full of trust. From a distance, Ryan watches, frozen, the weight of years of mistakes pressing down on him. He feels every pang of guilt, regret, and loss, but cannot approach. Tears stream down his face quietly, unseen by the twins, as he realizes the final, irrevocable truth. Adrien, calm and dignified, gives Ryan a small, respectful nod, not of triumph, but of acknowledgement. He silently communicates that the past is behind them and that he has become the father these children truly need. Ryan's heart shatters further as he fully comprehends the consequences of his betrayal. Eliza died without him by her side, and the children he fathered now love another man as their true protector and parent. Adrien kneels beside the twins, whispering promises that their mother's story will guide them and that they will grow up knowing they were cherished from the very first moment of their lives. Ryan walks away silently, haunted eternally by the night he abandoned his pregnant wife for fleeting passion and deceit. The reality is undeniable. Adrien did not steal the family, Ryan gave them away through his own cruelty, and that final, unchangeable truth will follow him forever.